Welcome back to Second Cup with Mike and Tricia. Here's the thing about being on the digital platform. It's so much looser. It's so much nicer.
Right.
We've been talking. Our directors are going, yo, we're trying to get things done here. I'm really sorry. It's 7:05. Welcome to KTSM Plus. We appreciate you joining us on Second Cup. Okay, so I'm really bad. I didn't write anything down, so I'm gonna ask all the dumb questions, and we'll just get them answered. So this is Kimberly. Hi. Tell me the group. Tell me. Okay, so this is about an opera.
Yes.
And it's about a miniature dollhouse and a miniature book that was commissioned by Queen Mary back in 1922.
Yes.
Okay, so I've actually heard about this. I did not know that you guys it had been turned into an opera.
Right.
So it's going to have its world premiere here at the Plaza Philanthropy Theater.
It is.
Downtown. And I want to know, tell me why this got turned into an opera.
So A.J. Freeman and Shoshana Shattenkirk out of New York, they fell in love with the book. And so, the book stayed hidden in the library of Queen Mary's dollhouse for 95 years.
Wow.
Before it was discovered. So it was commissioned by Queen Mary from Vita Sackville West, that's the author, in 1922 for the dollhouse. And it sat there, and everybody thought it was just a facade, just a little miniature, a toy, basically. Mm-hmm. And they didn't realize until they were going through and doing like regular restoration and maintenance that, oh no, this is a real book, and it's the size of a postage stamp.
That is amazing.
Right.
So it didn't sound like it was hidden. It sounds like it was lost.
Well, exactly.
It's so little.
It was just sitting on the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Among all the other stuff that's in there. So, Queen Mary's commitment to her dollhouse was pretty intense. And her whole vision, the dollhouse takes an entire room in Windsor Palace.
Nuh-uh.
It's behind, yes. The dollhouse is huge. It's behind glass. And her whole goal was to replicate what she considered to be ideal life of the time. So if you're a Downton Abbey fan, if you watch that series,
totally
okay, this is the time period we're talking about. And so that is the life that she was trying to preserve with her dollhouse.
Okay, now Queen Mary is actually, I think, the great-grandmother of Queen Elizabeth?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes. And so she wanted to have as many realistic things in the dollhouse as she could. And this book happened to be a part of that. So in 2017, when they realized, oh, this is real, this isn't just,
some decorative piece.
Yes, a representation. It's real. Then they published it in 2017. And A.J. Freeman, who is on the roster for Music Theater International in New York, Music Theater International owns like half of the musicals in the world. So, like Rent.
Oh, wow.
Which is the Dinner Theater's doing that this year.
Okay.
So if you want to do one of those shows, you have to go through Music Theater International.
It's like a cartel, man.
So
what's up with that?
It's a great company. I love working with them, actually. But AJ's on their roster, and she reached out. She and Shoshana had written it and wanted to know if we were interested in doing the world premiere. Some scenes had been done at Lincoln Center for a library series.
Wow.
And by adults. But the opera is written for young people to sing for their peers.
Like the young people next to you.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And that's really what we do as an opera company. And there's different types of opera. So, we're used to, El Paso Opera is doing La Boheme this year. If you haven't gotten your tickets, please do. And so, we're used to thinking of that as opera, a very adult art form.
Yeah.
But children's opera is its own art form. And there's two kinds of that. You've got children's opera where it's, young adults, maybe people who've just graduated with their master's degrees. They're starting their careers, and they do small, short operas. Like they'll take The Story of the Three Little Pigs, set it to Mozart's music, and go sing it for elementary schools to expose kids. And that's great.
Okay.
What we do is different. We are focused on young people singing operas written specifically for their voices to sing for their peers. It's hands-on. Our kids are doing the singing. They're not observing, they're doing the singing.
Okay.
And that is to demonstrate to young people that opera is for everybody, including them. It's not just for adults, it's for everybody. And if young people don't have an opportunity to have hands-on experience and see themselves represented in an art form, then how do they engage in it? And how do we create future opera lovers without those opportunities?
And I think that what most people don't realize is that opera and what we call classical music, Mozart, Beethoven, things like that, that was actually like the pop music of its era.
Yes.
And there's a lot of opera that you hear the lyrics translated and you're like, these are kind of nasty.
Right.
Yeah.
These are kind of baughty.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, okay, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
You know? Which is really cool, which brings it down to you're not going to the opera. I mean, you know, we think of opera and we think of strings of pearls and fur coats.
Yes.
And, you know, going out to eat dinner afterwards. No, opera was like, we're going to go see Justin Bieber.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So fun to talk to somebody who gets it. So, I mean, you know, after the French Revolution, going to the opera was like going to the movies now.
Yes.
That's where people got to see human stories unfold on stage. You know, they'd haul their dinner out and sit on the ground on a blanket next to their neighbors, and there'd be a different opera playing every night.
And a lot of them were very political.
Very
political theater.
Yes.
Very.
And somehow along the way, it's turned into this art form that is only for a certain demographic.
Right. Very
in terms
hoity-toity.
Of age, socioeconomic demographic, and it was never meant to be that. Opera is the people's art form. And so returning it to that requires giving the general public an opportunity to engage on a personal level. And in my opinion, which is why I do what I do, the best way to do that is to start with your youngest members of the community, because kids grow up. You know, we did a research project through the National Opera Association, and we did it here in El Paso. I co-chaired children's opera for that group for 5 years. And I just wanted to go into middle schools and talk to some choir kids and get their opinions on opera. And let me tell you, it was not good.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It was not good.
We're not very cultured when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, kids, they don't know what opera is, but they know that they don't like it.
Exactly.
And so that's the problem.
Yeah.
You know,
the
that's
problem
what we're
is that
trying
they
to
don't
solve.
show Bugs Bunny anymore.
I was
That's
going to
the
say,
problem.
okay, so when
Saturday
we were,
morning cartoons.
Yes, when we were growing
that's
up.
how I found out about opera.
Yes, when
You
we were
know?
growing up, we were totally exposed to opera and classical music.
Yes.
Because what we consider cartoon music is actually Beethoven,
Classical
Mozart,
and-
and all these other.
Right.
They're very classical, you know, music.
Right.
That's what it is.
Lots of Wagner and Bugs Bunny.
Lots of Wagner, and you know,
Yes.
and then he's forever breaking out into the Barber of Seville.
Yes.
You know.
Which El Paso Opera is doing next season.
Oh,
So I'm on the
nice.
board of El Paso Opera.
Okay,
Can you
I
tell?
gotta tell you real quick. I lived in San Diego for 5 years.
Oh yeah, San Diego Opera.
So San Diego has their opera, but San Diego, while I was there, actually lost their ballet company and their symphony. The fact that El Paso has
All of
a
that.
symphony orchestra,
Yep.
an opera company, we bring just tons of Broadway to El Paso.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, we might not be, you know, people think, oh, we're not that cultured. We really are.
Oh, absolutely.
If a city our size can maintain a symphony orchestra
Yep.
and a bunch of different opera companies and a bunch of little ballet companies and things like
Yes.
that says a lot. People are actually making a living doing what they're doing, performing art,
Yes.
making art. It's so important.
It is. And, you know, we can thank Ruth Ellen Jacobson for having a symphony. We did almost lose our symphony in El Paso in the late 90s. And then Ruth Ellen Jacobson stepped into leadership and turned it around. So, you know, it's the culture here, but also we have some really phenomenal women in leadership positions in El Paso. The symphony, the opera company, these are led by El Paso women.
Right. Well, our own Felipa Solis, Pro Musica.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and really that's the only reason we have Pro Musica.
Exactly.
Is because of Felipa. So we've got some really, really strong, dedicated women with boots on the ground doing the job, making it happen. So, I mean, I think it's an exciting place to live. I'm not an El Paso native, but, I've been here 30 years and...
Yeah, you're native, girl.
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah, you might as well be.
Right.
Yeah.
When people ask where I'm from, I definitely say I'm from El Paso. And when I was with the National Opera Association, I would go and speak at conventions and things of that nature. And people would come up to me and say, and it was a little offensive, to be honest. They would be like, El Paso.
I know.
What are you doing in El Paso? And I'm like, you're exactly the kind of person that needs to come visit.
Yes.
You need to come out. And, kids like the ones sitting next to me have been amazing ambassadors. As one of the only children's opera companies in the country, there's not a lot of us. Canada is way ahead of us in terms of children's opera. They've been doing it longer. And so they've got a lot happening there. But as one of the only in the country, and we're really dedicated to new works, we want the kids to have the opportunity to access living composers, because having the person who wrote the music that you're singing right in front of you is life-changing for a young person. And so, our slant is a little different than other companies. But, these kids have had the opportunity to travel and perform in New York, Toronto, Alaska. And they've been able to go into other communities and display for those communities exactly what we have to offer. And really, that's our best resource in El Paso is our youth. We raise amazing children here. We really do. The best ever. And these kids grow up with so much more culture than, I lived all over. My dad was in the military. And so the music that kids grow up listening to in their homes in El Paso is traditionally more linked to classical music than other modern American styles. So, and then most of our kids speak Spanish.
Right.
So pure vowels, right? Well, that's half of what you need to sing opera really well.
What do you mean by pure vowels?
So it's the Spanish language. So in English, we use a lot of diphthongs, like I. That's more than one vowel sound smashed together. A. It's not a. We've got all these other sounds mixed in.
Right.
That's not real pretty when you're singing.
Yeah.
So your native English speakers have to work really hard at minimizing those diphthong sounds in order to create those lyric vocal lines. But kids that grow up speaking Spanish naturally do this. And because Spanish is a Latin-based romantic language, it lends itself to that way of speaking, that way of singing. So they're more naturally adapted to singing opera. So, I mean, really, we should be the Mecca of opera in the United States. We really should.
So I'm gonna stop you real quick. So we're 7:18. Let's take a 2-minute break, and then we're gonna come back and we're going to get introduced to these two lovely ladies, and we'll be right back with Second Cup, Mike and Tricia. Welcome back to Second Cup with Mike, Tricia, and Ian. Not Ian, because he's not here today.
Yeah, he's not.
But, on KTSM Plus. Okay, so we're talking to a couple of young... Tell me the name of your all's group.
The Youth Opera of El Paso.
Okay. I'm going to speak right into the mic. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are.
I'm Miller Colquitt, and I've been with the Youth Opera for 7 years.
Oh, nice. Okay, and you're going to be in this particular production.
Yes.
And what part are you playing?
I'm playing the latest wife.
The latest wife?
Yeah, how many wives does this person have?
Many.
Okay, the latest wife of who?
Of Captain Blackbeard.
Okay.
Pirate, you say.
So give us this particular opera for dummies. Tell me exactly what's going on.
So the opera is about it's about Queen Anne's dollhouse, and it's about a fairy that lives in the dollhouse. And it's just how she's traveling through, and then she finds a schoolgirl, and then it's their entire journey through the opera, through the dollhouse. That.
Oh, this is so cool. I'm very looking forward to this. Okay, so when does this happen?
This happens in the...
No. I'm sorry. When is it going to be? When is it going to be on stage?
Oh, it happens. It's March 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Okay, and it's going to be at the Plaza Philanthropy Theater.
Yes.
Okay, now when do tickets go on sale?
They're already on sale.
Excellent. Okay. So all you need to do is call Plaza Theater. You can get those tickets. Okay, so what kind of I can't even, it blows my mind that somebody can open their mouth and this kind of beautiful singing comes out. What kind of training? When did you figure out that you wanted to do this?
So when I was around like 6 or something, my mom signed me up for the El Paso Youth Opera, and then ever since then I've just like always loved doing this, and it's just been like something that I've just like always done.
And do you walk around the house just and you break out into song?
Yes.
That is so cool. I just love that. I just think that's the coolest thing. What other productions have you been part of?
I was part of Brundabar. That was my first production with the youth opera. And then we did Brundabar again in Fairbanks, Alaska for the Fairbanks Music Festival. And then I was part of Searching the Painted Sky last year, and then I'm part of this one this year.
Oh, you are all in.
That is amazing. And traveling to Alaska. That is really great.
Fun.
Okay, we have another young lady. Introduce us to yourself. Introduce us to you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
Hello.
Hi, Taylor.
Good morning. I am a former student of the Youth Opera of El Paso. I was in the original cast in New York of Searching the Painted Sky. So way back when. I'm not a student anymore. I wish I was because I had a blast, but I had to go to college, sadly.
You're like,
and how's that going for you?
It's going.
It's going, huh?
Where do you go to college?
I go to Texas Tech.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I love it.
Are you studying anything music related?
No,
No,
I'm not.
that's-
What do you
After
study?
I stopped at the Youth Opera, I can't sing anymore. I would be doing a disservice to y'all.
Oh, no.
Stop.
No, I really would. Believe me.
How can you just not be able to sing like that anymore?
Well, I was really little. I started in, I
Oh,
want to
yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah.
2011, 2012.
Yeah.
And I was in a body cast. I had hip surgery, so
my
I was
goodness.
immobilized, so no sports. So my parents were like, this is perfect. And
Yeah.
it was. It really was. It was so fun.
Oh,
It's
that is
kind of like when
great.
you age out of menudo, right?
Correct. Which I haven't
It's
done
like
yet.
you don't sound like that kid anymore, so
Yep.
you can't be in the band anymore.
Age out
Yep.
of menu, though.
Oh no.
I'm not there yet, but when I
No?
age out, I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. But you can't hit those same high kid notes anymore.
I never was able to, actually. I think I was an alto. So
Ah.
now,
I'm so
Scary.
not cultured. I don't know the difference between an alto and anything else. I know a bass is pretty deep. You know
Okay.
that I do know, but
so alto is like lower tones. Like
Lower
I
tones.
could not sing all the high
you,
pitch.
yeah,
Oh,
same,
wow.
same, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. See, I have
Yeah.
zero talent like that. I couldn't sing. Believe me. Thank goodness I live alone, because when I sing in the shower, nobody's there to go,
Nobody
oh
is-
my God, what
nobody
in
is
God's
there."
name is that?
But when you
So,
sing
yeah.
in the shower, you're like, why is this kind of good? Why
I
am
know,
doing a
right?
good
Right?
job?"
It's the acoustics. It's the acoustics. Well, and I'm lying to myself. I mean, what can I tell you?
Yeah.
I'm
What
so-
you hear,
Yeah.
what we hear.
I know exactly,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
I think I sound like Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
I know I don't sound
And
like
we
Mariah
hear,
Carey.
we hear.
I know, right? My cat's running around in circles going, stop, stop. Okay, so I'm so curious to find out, is this a costumed event, or is this like are y'all gonna be in contemporary clothing?
It's a costumed event.
Ooh, this is getting better and better. I'm just such a dork. I'm a Winter Olympics
She's angling
dork.
for free tickets, is
No,
what
I'm
she's
not.
telling
I'm
you.
not. I would never. This is a business. You got to
Yeah.
make money.
Come sit with me.
No. This is a business. You got to make money. I'm very serious
Yeah,
about
no, she
that.
is.
I don't believe in free tickets. You guys work hard. You guys deserve to get paid. That's how it goes. Okay, so tell me one thing that you want people to know about not only just the show, but opera in general in El Paso.
That it's not boring, and it's not some like lady standing with the Viking helmet and like a
Oh
giant
no,
fur-
it's
The
not.
Viking helmet, I love it.
You know what? You had me until you just said that. No Viking helmet.
What?
Darn it.
Okay, and what about this particular production? Like, what is your favorite part of this production?
I definitely I obviously like when I get to
Sure.
have like my solos and stuff. But I think probably one of my favorite parts is when Bluebeard gets his solo, and that's a really fun, and it's a really, because the person singing it's really good, so he's a really So it sounds amazing, and it's really like satisfying to hear the voice and
And our Bluebeard is from Juarez.
Hold on real quick. Okay.
The young man playing Bluebeard is from Juarez. And so I love the fact that, living where we live, it's one of my favorite things about being in this region is that, we're on a state border, we're on an international border. And so the fact that we can reach across that border and work with performers in Juarez, young performers in Juarez, who are aspiring opera singers themselves. Fernando Olguin Ramos is playing that role, and he's in the 9th grade and very much wants to be an opera singer. He already knows this. And giving him a platform to be able to accomplish that at this young age is one of the best reasons to do children's opera. So super, super excited to see Fernando flourish in that role.
And the other thing is that not only do you get the kind of classical education part of this, the music, the opera, that kind of thing, but you have to work as a team. It's so high pressure to put on any kind of a production like this. There's so many amazing life skills that go into this, the traveling aspect of it, the time management part of it. It's just such a great thing. It's such, like, even in sports, you get all those aspects. But you when you're up there on a stage, that's terrifying. I mean, good God, we have this camera staring us in the face every morning. It's like, oh my God, are you kidding? I mean, that's frightening. But to be able to get up on a stage and tell a story, sing, entertain in a costume. I mean, you guys, y'all, I'm just so impressed. I'm so glad you guys came in to tell us about this. I'm really looking forward to this.
It's super exciting. Some of the kids are going to be costumed as like pieces of the dollhouse. Our costumer is the head of costume design from West Texas A&M University. West Texas A&M they've had a lot of El Paso kids come through their fine arts program. That is the fine arts branch of the A&M system. And so they're very, very interested in recruiting in El Paso because they know the gold that we have here in our young people. And so we have this lovely relationship with them, and they do our costuming. So it's gonna be fun to see those kids come alive as different pieces of the dollhouse. But in terms of life skills, whether these kids go on to become opera professionals isn't necessarily the goal. I love seeing it. I love the full circle aspect of that. In fact, one of the kids that went with us to New York to do the premiere of a Canadian opera, Searching the Painted Sky, that was at the National Opera Association convention. Now he is 24, finishing his master's degree, and was back at the National Association convention last night and won the Bob Hansen competition in opera. So, he was there when he was a little kid premiering a new opera, and now as an opera professional just won the big award.
Cool.
And from El Paso, by the way, that's Brian Bennett. And, so that's an example of a kid who's gone on to an opera career, but the ability to communicate with groups of people in high pressure situations, that's a life skill that goes on forever. And that's something that I've seen in Taylor. So, Taylor isn't going on to a professional opera career, but the reason we brought Taylor back to be our spokesperson for this season is because this young lady can get in front of a camera and be so eloquent on the fly and have a conversation with anybody about the arts in such a beautiful way. And so Taylor has that skill because she's got, all this experience leading into it. Wherever Taylor's career leads her, she's going to be wildly successful because she can communicate effectively just as a human being.
Absolutely.
So, we're so proud of Taylor. We really are. We're so proud of her.
Well, you guys, I really thank you guys for coming in. This was amazing. Really looking forward to this. This happens at the Plaza Philanthropy Theater. I knew I was going to be able to get that out eventually. March
6th through the 8th.
March 6th through the 8th. Just go to the Plaza Theater box office, or of course onto their website, and you can get the tickets there. I am very much looking forward to this. Thank you guys all so much for coming in.
All right, y'all.
Appreciate
Sing
it.
us out. Sing us out.
Sing us out. No, that's not fair. They got to warm up.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 7:31.
And work on those Viking helmets, for God's sake.
I know, right?
It's what we expect.
It's 7:31. We'll be right back with Second Cup.